Hey, welcome to Growing. We hope you're doing well today. Yesterday, we talked about part one of the seasons of marriage, and we looked at summer and summer romance and how everything was so much fun in your when you meet that person through the courting or dating stage, whichever one you want to call it, and then through the first 2 years of marriage. And then we're going to look at fall today. We're going to look at when reality really sets in on several issues. But before I begin, I want to ask you a question. Some of you played sports. Some of you played multiple sports: football and soccer and baseball and golf. You ran track, whatever it may have been. But do you remember getting up early in the morning and going and practicing? Do you remember staying up late doing your homework or working out just to be able to kick that ball further, more accurate, to be able to hit that ball more solid, to be able to tackle somebody exactly the way you should, to protect your quarterback, whatever it may be? You work very hard at your sport. And at the end of the season, if you worked hard enough and you played well enough, then you received a trophy. And you worked really, really hard to get that trophy, and you were very proud of that trophy. And typically, what happens to trophies? They get put on a shelf. Oftentimes in our marriages, it's the very same way. In the summer romance time, you're going to do things and say things and act certain ways to work very, very hard in order to win that person. But in fall, we often take that person, just like we did that trophy, and we put them on a shelf. And we go on to what's the next adventure in life. And we often forget about that relationship. And so in this first season of pure fun of summer, we're going to now move into a season of really discovery. Now, these things have always been there. They were there during the summer months, but you ignored them. You pushed them away. Now you're going to start seeing some fatal flaws in this person that you married, and they're not the person that you thought they were. Even the little things. They left the toothpaste cap off the toothpaste again. They never understand that the toilet paper needs to roll off a certain way. These people never pick up their clothes. Don't you know that we have a hamper here? Don't you know we have a dishwasher? Why can't you put your dirty dishes in the dishwasher? These things never bothered you during the romance stage, or you suppressed them. And now that you're constantly having to deal with it, now these small things tend to be a lot larger. If you're in a garden, if you have a garden, if you have a flower bed, what happens when you say, oh, those small weeds, it's not a big deal? The small weeds are not a big deal. Before long, those small weeds, they become a really big deal, and they eventually choke out the garden. Same way in our relationships. They may just be small things, but eventually they can choke out a relationship. This illusion of bliss often is broken by the small disappointments. It's that forgotten anniversary. During the romance stage, you remembered how many days you've been together. We're celebrating our 1 month, 2 hours, 3.2 seconds, zero point 0.4 seconds, zero point 0.5 seconds. I mean, they both can tell you how long they've been together. Maybe it's that facial expression. Then you hear them go, what? What did I say? Maybe it's a certain gesture. Maybe the tone of voice is not the same as it was in a romance stage. Maybe they look and say, you don't ever touch me anymore. You don't ever hold my hand. Why are you at work all the time? You never used to work like this when we were first married or dating. Why don't you ever come home? Why don't we just talk about it? Why can't we communicate? And so in order to fix these problems, oftentimes during this stage, the couples have a great solution. You know what they do? They have their first baby. And man, how excited everybody is. But all you've really done is suppress the problems that you've been having. And the baby is simply just covering up all this. And the glow of parenthood really just pushes down all the issues that you're having. The issues are still there. And the problems are going to come back out because you haven't handled them. But right now, the baby has taken all that attention away from you, and you've now focused on the attention. And really what's happening, instead of coming together, you're really even growing further apart. The demands of parenthood are crowding out the times just you. Financial pressures have increased. Work demands have increased. Oftentimes you're now having to get a bigger house because your family's growing. And then the in-laws, don't forget about the in-laws. They're coming in now and trying to be part of the children's lives. And so you're further and tarnishing your relationship because you never fixed what you should have, even in the dating stage. It's the season of reality. And sometimes the small misunderstandings become the seeds of fruitful bitterness. You know, Hebrews 12:15 says this, looking diligently, lest any man fail the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. Why are many defiled? Because resentment and disappointments that are not dealt with and not communicated with, that it produces a spirit of unforgiveness, and that continues to grow and grow. This person you thought you'd never even have an argument with, now resentment and bitterness is building up inside of you. And this is often caused by things that were ignored from the very beginning. Hope you'll find this helpful as we continue through the seasons of marriage. We're going to teach you how to work through these problems that you're now in the season of fall. God bless you. Hope you have a good day.